Hey, so what's going on, everyone? Unfortunately, I've been out for a little bit, behind the scenes difficulties. I also had some editing difficulties, but now I'm back on track. And for this next podcast, I have a special guest, Anastasia Nikolakakos. She is an MMA fighter. She is a team builder. She also gives great advice for a lot of people who been through certain type of struggles. She's just an all-around great person. So this podcast is very interesting. Full disclosure, this is a Zoom podcast, so the video quality isn't up to par how I would like it, but it was still a great interview, a great podcast to have with her. And also another disclosure is our connection kind of fell towards the end of the podcast, so it will get cut off towards the end, but we still had a full 45 to 50 minute podcast, and it had a lot of valuable information in there, and I just wanted to get it out and get her put on the map because she deserves it. And we just are all about connecting. You know, that's what the podcast is all about. It's all about connecting and finding different people from different parts of the world who have some values and something to bring to the table. So without further ado, let's just get on with the podcast. Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to N.Cast. I'm your co-host, Prince Ayo, and I have my special guest, Anastasia. I keep butchering your last name, so I'm going to let you say your last name for me. Say your last name for me. Say it. Go ahead.
Anastasia Nikolakakos.
Nikolakakos. There you go.
Yes. AKA Timani Animale, baby.
There you go. So this is a long time overdue. We actually had this podcast before, but I messed up with this Skype meeting, and I couldn't get that file transferred over to my video editor, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So we're doing this again. Second time's the charm. If we can't get the second time, then 2045.
2045, baby. You already know. Because then, I'm sure a lot's going to happen from 245 to now, right? So
exactly.
Yeah.
So let the people know what you do, Anastasia.
What do? I feel like you need to ask me these questions because there's a vast. What don't I do? I feel like, you know what I mean?
I contain you in. All right.
Yeah.
So let people know 4 major things that you do. How about that?
4 major things. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I am a pro MMA fighter. Okay. All right. I am a MMA coach. I'm a health and fitness coach. I'm a mentor, motivational speaker, life coach. I guess you could put that in the same category. Okay. And I am a partner at the #1 agency in the world, Grow With Us.
Nice.
All right.
And today is March 6, 2021, which means it is fight night tonight. So yes. Big time fighters on the fight card tonight. I believe you got Megan Anderson and Amanda Nunes.
Those are the only ones I really truly care about.
Right. You got Stylebender tonight. I'm Nigerian, so I'm gonna pay attention to him. Stylebender's gonna do some damage. We'll see. You never know. It's a surprise.
Listen, this is fighting. You know what I mean? Anything can happen. I mean, so that's the beauty of it.
Exactly. And it's not just those 2 cards. There's a lot of competitors on the cards tonight, so it's gonna be a good time. Good time. I think it already started, didn't it? It already started an hour or 2 ago.
It did. You see what happens? And I'm here with you. I'm good. I really just honestly want to watch Megan and Nunes. They're both such amazing female fighters. Megan, I've met a few times. Super cool girl for Invicta because she is one of the spokespersons. She at the Invicta shows. So she's super, super cool. Australian. Super tall. I
was going to say she's 6'1".
Buddy.
She's pretty built.
No, she's huge. God bless her. I'm wow, she was a tree. I couldn't believe it.
She's built. When you see her face, you expect maybe 5'6", 5'8", and it's nope. You gotta get close to her. She's 6'1". She's built.
Yeah, she's solid. She's a solid 6'2" or something.
Yeah.
She's definitely got height on Nunes, and it's gonna be interesting because I know she's super talented, and I think anybody in their category, I feel like Megan is the only one right now that could possibly stop Nunes. Because
Because of
Nunes
the
is
reach advantage and speed and stuff.
just yeah, I just think she's a good fighter, reach advantage. If she plays it smart, she'll be able to definitely pull this one off. But then it is Nunes. She's a lioness. She's a monster. You know what I mean? And she's still in her prime. You know what I mean? So honestly, it's gonna be an interesting fight. I mean, I love Nunes because it's Nunes, but I would say I'm definitely going for Megan all the way. It would be nice to see her win, and I think she deserves it. You know what I mean?
Nice,
So
nice, nice,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I hear that. It's the same way I feel about Stylebender. I honestly believe that obviously he's the top, so everyone's gonna try to knock him down. But
Of
we'll
course.
see. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I don't just like expect it, because fighting
No.
it's not like it's like I don't know if you know about American football, but like the Patriots.
Yeah,
Like,
I
how they
watched it.
play.
I watched it.
Yeah. Like you expect like the Patriots to always win. That doesn't
Always
always
win.
happen. So
Listen, I'm not gonna lie though. I have to make note of this. There was a very boring Super Bowl. Not gonna lie, and I'm not even like
yeah.
that was boring. I can't. But you know what? Listen, it is what it is. But usually, I would say that it's because nobody was really in the audience. But even though there were people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was. I thought it was definitely gonna be more live because we spoke before that. I think it was the
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
it was Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, that's when we had our last one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, but yeah. So anyways, that's what I'm thinking that's gonna happen with the card tonight. But listen, I'm talking to you right now, so
Right.
I care about our conversation.
No, that's dope. So I guess we'll
So
just go back to the previous questions that I asked.
right.
First off, just because you're going off the MMA stuff, last time we talked, you were in a boot. So I guess we'll talk about that. Like, because about your fighting and you just got out of fighting and or out of the boot. Congratulations! Now you can walk.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So I damaged my my knee. Those of you that don't know, and if you care, it is what it is. If you don't care, it is what it is. But yeah. So I like my whole life, like obviously as I
Not a
trained
boot,
like
a cast. You were in a cast. There you go.
it was like a mild cast. It wasn't a full on cast, but
Right.
it was knee surgery, right? But anyways, like my whole life, it was so weird because I've never got injured like that. I mean, I've broken my wrist in like soccer and playing other sports and stuff like that, but like an actual serious injury from MMA, never, right? Like especially my knee. So it was crazy. So I got injured at practice. Like I would say, like by now, it was like 6.5 months ago. It was from one of my teammates, and we were going for a technical throw. It was like a technical practice, and he's also my business partner, actually, 𝙤𝙖𝙖𝙨. Anyway, so it was him. Great guy. So we were going through technique, and I was going for a throw against the wall, and so was he. But we were both trying to throw each other and counter each other. Then on the floor, obviously we're sweating. Went to go, and he's a bigger guy, so I went to go instead of releasing. I didn't, and I was trying to throw it, and he was trying to counter, and then we both slipped on sweat. Then he lands on me like Prince, like this way, boom, and I hear pop. I'm like, I grabbed my leg. He fell on me, but he bounced straight back up because we've been doing it forever. So as soon as you're like, oh shit, but at that point it was too late. And I grabbed my knee. I'm like, it's done. Like I knew. I'm like, it's done. Oh, like you know what I mean. And then I kept training though that day. But anyway, so it swelled up. The coaches, my teammates, they grabbed it. They grabbed ice and I said, it's torn. Like, and obviously I got emotional because like I was just getting back into like really like a training camp, right? Because we were supposed to fight maybe like I would say we were looking for a fight a month and a half later, 2 months later. So I was already in like 2 weeks of going hard again. I'm always training, but really focus on, okay, we're fighting soon. You know what I mean?
Right.
I got emotional, not because of the pain, because I popped it. I'm like, it's torn. Like I'm gonna.
That's because you were expecting like to fight and stuff, so you're like now it's gonna, like
so I started crying.
Everything, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not crying because of pain. I'm crying because what the fuck? Sorry, my language. I'm like, why? I look at the sky because like I'm like, you know me. We'll talk about it. I'm like, why God? Why?
Right.
I'm like, okay, it's fine. And then iced it the next day. Came back to training. I kept tweaking it. And at that point, I was waiting for an MRI, right? And it was the pandemic. So it wasn't that I didn't get the MRI. I actually got it pretty fast. Like I would say like 2 weeks later, because it's hard to get MRIs regardless, right? And I had the appointment for 2 weeks later, and then the pandemic hit hard again because the zones. So they ended up canceling the appointment. So I had to wait up until literally, I would say, like a month ago, and to redo that MRI. And as soon as we did it again, like as soon as we did it again, we didn't do it the first time. As soon as I got the MRI, like 3 days later, I was like literally 4 or 5 days. Don't quote me on this. It was like a few days later, I was already into surgery. But like like it was like a shock. I'm like, I knew I tore it, but like, hey, buddy, by Monday we're going into surgery. I'm like, whoa, like chill, give me a second here. I'm still training. You know what I mean? At this point, I know like you would never think during practice like that there was anything wrong with my leg, the way I'm moving. But in MMA, it's very dangerous.
I was gonna say, when you hyperextend or anything in MMA, like it's just you don't want to risk it. It's already bad enough. But like, here's the thing: like a lot of MMA fighters go into their fights like kind of hurt anyways. Like,
right. This is the thing. You're never 100%.
Yeah.
You never. But you know what is though? This has to be.
Exactly.
This has to be 100%, but if there's something like that, like I'm saying, like it's at the back of your mind when you're moving. Shit, I can't sprawl like I want to because this leg, it can give out at any moment because it was a full ACL tear. But like looking at me at practice, you would never think. But I know that there's limitations. Nobody, not telling you my limitation. I know as a fighter, as a martial artist, right? So it would be dangerous for me to potentially lose like that. It's already exactly what you say. It's already a dangerous sport. You're already gonna get a girl that's just as good as you. Maybe she's better than you at different strengths. So you're going up against like you know what I mean, injured already. And I always say it. Yeah, you go in there. There's always minor tweaks. Your elbows, like my elbow, officially locks and goes dead. Like sometimes I'll be driving, my arm just gives up because of the amount of arm bars or the amount of repetitions that you do. Like it's just. You know what I mean? I don't know what I was going with this, but anyways, so yeah, you never want to go into a fight like that. You know what I mean? So when I got that, so before I went in for the surgery, before I got this last MRI, my first MRI, we were booking a fight. My management, I'm signed with MTK Global, amazing management team, and we were looking for fights literally at the end of February and end of March, what we're in right now.
Right.
I was training and I'm like, God, like, what do you want me to do? So after I left the hospital, he's like, we need to get you in right away. Take a minute. Anastasia, this guy's the best doctor in Toronto. His name's Dr. Zarnett. Everybody's done knees knows that he's the man. And when this man says he had an open appointment during the COVID, never happens. Okay. So I left. I'm like, okay, doc, I need a couple hours. He's like, I'm gonna call you. My team is gonna call you in a couple hours. My secretary. I know you need to talk to your team, your coaches, blah blah. Because it was like you're going in I think it was the Thursday, and this was I think Monday. Don't quote me on it, but I can't remember at this point. But I was like, man, like I was ready to fight. So I get in my car, and I'm in the car, and I'm like, God, like, what do I do? Because I'm very spiritual. Like I said, we talked about this before, but we have to re-talk about it. But everything I ask for comes into fruition. And whatever I think about, it happens. It could be even in the past, a negative thing, like not of myself or anybody, but it's like, man, that's probably going to happen. And it does. So, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's like, okay, let's not think about any of that. Right. But, I said to God, I go, I need a sign right now. Cause I'm thinking that I'm fighting. So I'm like, I've cried. I'm like tearing, not like sobbing, but I'm like, listen, I need you to show me a sign right now, angels, like right now, like a profound sign that I should be.
You ever heard of DMX?
Huh?
You ever heard of DMX, the rapper?
Obviously.
You ever heard his little cosign? He's like, Lord, give me a sign. You ever heard that? Yeah. That's like literally when you say that. That's what I'm thinking of. Like, that's all I was thinking about.
Lord, give me a sign. That's what I did.
Yeah.
So not in the DMX voice. Yeah. Like, like I'm crying and I'm doing it. I'm like, I need to sign angels right now. I'm like, I'm calling the angels. I'm like, Angel Michael, Angel Gabriel, Angel Yuri. I'm like calling all of them, all my ancestors, everything, right? I'm like, I need it right now. So like it was crazy. Then 2 messages came in, friends. One of them was from a client, one of them was from a student. Okay, and I haven't heard from them. They're coming back at this time, right? They're like, hey coach, I heard like you got injured, like my mom's a nurse. She said because the COVID, everything's cutting back. Because I was on social media talking about it too. She's like, if you can get in as soon as possible, if you need the surgery, get in right away. Then another person messaged me pretty much saying the same thing, like, hey, coach, everything good. Like, I hope your knee's okay. Like, I heard on social media, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much saying, like, get it done again. Like, get it as fast as possible if that's what you need. Because I'm always hesitant, right? I'm like, man, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'll do it like after. So those two messages came in within 5 minutes of each other. I haven't even heard from these guys. Right. You know what I mean? Now they're back. Right? Shout out to you ladies, okay? You know who you are. But and then after that, I called one of my girlfriends and I'm like, listen, what do I do? She's like, you need to do this. And it was just like 3 in a row. And he never has cancellation prints. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I called my coaches. They're like, get in right away. My coaches have had bad, like my boxing coach, Ryan Grant, my guy, love him. My coach right there, my boxing coach, and he's had like so many injuries, wrists, knuckles, knees. He's like, babe, you need to do this.
You need to get it done. I mean, I'm glad you did it, because then, like, even though like you had your cars coming up, like we said before, if you didn't get this done now and you try to like push through it, it probably been turned into like a long-term injury.
Long-term injury or potentially lose. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, but like not even just long-term. It could or potentially lose, long-term injury or permanent injury.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so that been like, damn, you lost and have a permanent injury. That's like 2 L's. It's like, what? You want 2 L's? Like,
you're losing in life.
Yeah, like you're losing life and in the ring. Come on now, like
Yeah, you know what? That's why I always say God has my back. I tell you, it's a thing. You know why? God has everybody's back, but when you actually search for whoever God is to you, it could be your, universe. I don't care what it is. I don't care about your religion. But when you actually, it could be with yourself, being like, when you have that and you ask for these things, it comes to you. You're truly protected. He protects those that protect themselves. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm always looking to the Most High. I'm always, for any decision when it comes to business, sending me the right people. God, please send me the right people. I don't want no fake people. I want to close the doors. This is the stuff that I say. Close the doors to the people, places, and things that no longer serve my highest good, and bring me the people that do deserve to be in my life, that I can help in return. That's the things that I ask for. And Prince, it always comes, because it's a blessing, because I'm able to go on a higher frequency. I'm not tooting my own horn. I've been through a lot of shit in my life. A lot of people have. And I've always looked at this perspective. Listen, I always say this. Don't get it twisted. I am a crazy 150%. I will, like, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, though, it's always a good vibe. I wish you well. Well, not everybody does that for you, But this is the thing. So I always look to the Most High, number one, and the good people come. Look at you. I met you through Grow With Us.
Right.
These are the things that end up entering in your life. I asked for a sign. I got 3. I got 4, including the doctor having a cancellation, which was the first one. You know what I mean? It's always like little things like this that just drive me. Do you know what I mean? I know I went off, but like this is, No,
it's good. It's good. Like it makes sense. Like, 1, it's manifesting. 2, it's just like if it's a sign coming your way, you better pay attention to it, because it's not going to keep coming your way after a while.
Exactly.
But like, that being said, how long? I hate to just like go to the next segment, but like I want to understand where you're coming from. How long have you been in MMA to get to the point where you're like, okay, like I know my body. People are giving me this advice for some time now. Like, you must have been like fighting and been in like martial arts long enough to know, like, okay, I need to, act on this right now, because I know that it could be either permanent damage or long-term damage, or it could potentially harm your career. So how long have you been in martial arts?
Martial arts my whole life.
Okay.
So
what is your whole life? Did you you come out the womb with nunchucks? Or
my mom said I was kicking.
Right.
I was upside down and shit,
They didn't even cut the umbilical cord off. You already had the nunchucks.
I bit it myself. Anyways, no. Also, I have a twin sister, so she was in that womb. She probably got beats in there too.
Right.
I love her, but no, it's 5 years old. So
Okay.
we grew up. My dad's a martial artist. So there's five of us, and we grew up in the dojos. We had our dojos like
Let's
our
see,
whole life.
Taekwondo,
So my
Krav
dad was
Maga.
yeah. So it was back then. It was like you were always like in one discipline. Because now MMA is so vast, you do everything. Back then it was like I'm a boxer. Back then it was I do Wing Chun or I do Taekwondo. Those were the different disciplines, and you understand. So there was like one discipline. So my dad was Kempo Karate, but he wasn't just that. So what MMA is today, my dad already was doing that. So it's Roman Greco wrestling mixed with Kempo Karate, pancration, which is grabbing, locks, arm locks. So my dad was doing that. So that's the way he brought us up, his students. And then MMA happened, and it was like the Gracies and the UFC 1, 2, 3. It was like in 1991 or
93.
something like
It was like 93.
93. Yeah, something like that. Um, and so yeah, no, that's the discipline. We started with karate, and then it just gradually just I added on, added on, added on. You know, I think did I answer that question?
No, no, no.
Right?
You answered great. You
Yeah.
answered great. No,
So
that's
at
good.
5 years old, 5 years old is when I started.
Okay. And you're now 31, 32 years old?
I'm 21. Thank you so
20,
much.
sorry. Aging you out. I didn't mean to age you out like that. I just wanted to get it was like 20, it's like 20 years deep. Let's just say you're 20 years deep. There you go.
That's
So
right.
I'm
That's it.
not trying to age you out like that. There you go. There you go.
I'm good.
She's 22, ladies and gentlemen. She's 22.
Yeah, 22. That's up. I'm whatever I feel like. You understand?
Right. Got you.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's dope that you've been in this for so long. So, would you say like your discipline is more so grappling style or striking? 'Cause I know you said like you've been in martial arts since you were 5, right? But like
Right.
there's strengths and weaknesses, right? So like there's some people who are like better on the ground. Some people are better strikers. Which one would you say you're better in?
That's it. See, I don't know because like I move a lot. I would say I'm known for my movement.
Comfortable is probably better. Instead of better, it's like which one do you say you're more comfortable with?
To be honest, I'm comfortable everywhere. Everywhere. I love grappling. I grew up grappling, right? So not just karate and stand up, like in high school, wrestling, and then outside of high school, like I wanted to be on the Olympic team. That's what me and my twin sister were working towards that in high school, and then outside of high school, college, right? Like literally, that was our goal, like making it to the Olympics, right? And then life happens and all that stuff. So she took a different route in her life, and and I continued on the path, but. What was the question? Sorry, I just went off.
What was it? Which style are you more comfortable with, grappling or striking?
That's what I mean. So I like everything. I love grappling. I love controlling positions. I love being on top dominant. I love hitting, grounding. I love cage work. So I would say all around. I think I'm good all around. I could be better at certain things. Sometimes I feel great at grappling, and I'm like, okay. Feeling great this month, this couple. Okay, let me be tighter with my boxing. You know what I mean? So I would say overall I'm good everywhere, but I would definitely say my movement is something that I'm known for. I bounce and move a lot, in and out. I don't like getting touched, right?
Yeah, I mean that's art. That's art. Like Money Mayweather would not be Money Mayweather without his defense, without
How
like
good looking
moving.
is he?
Yeah.
He feels like he's 25, 30.
Yeah, he doesn't like the reason why he's where he's at right now is because he doesn't like getting touched. And like people call him a runner. I'm like, you don't understand the sport. Like you're not supposed to get touched. Like
you don't listen, you don't get paid more money to get beat up. I mean, you think this is bad money? I'm gonna be in a wheelchair with like saliva out of my mouth because I wanted to get hit? No. I mean, hey, listen, there's a time and place where you gotta throw down, of course, but then you see those fighters that are just back and forth, and it's like brain damage.
It's just ego. It's ego and brain. I'm like, what are you doing? UFC every punch you take, every blow you take. It's like, sometimes you don't always got to go back and forth with the guy if you can dodge those punches. Like
100%. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I like that. Mayweather is one of my favorite boxers. Hey, you can call him boring. Do you know how much skill that takes to be? People will miss it. Boxers in general at that high level. You're not slipping like this. You're slipping like this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that is so precise, and you're like, do you know that skill? This guy's a ninja. He's my favorite boxer.
exactly.
My favorite boxer. I love him. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a Mayweather. Right? Relax.
Yeah, yeah,
But
no, no,
that's
no, no, no. I feel that. What I
yeah.
got out of you is like you basically was growing up with like more so grappling, so you like perfected that more
It was
so.
grappling. It was grappling and bouncing like karate, right? Because you
Right,
got so it was both. It was both.
right, right. And then like
Yeah.
I guess once you got into like your MMA gym, you started working more so on your striking.
Yeah, yeah. So like, yeah,
So
exactly, yeah. So it's like a whole thing, right? You started in karate, high school wrestling, Olympic wrestling. Boom! Out of high school, I meet my best friend Natalie, who introduced me to jujitsu. Then I went to a jujitsu with the gi. Did that forever. And then Muay Thai. I got introduced to Muay Thai. And then from Muay Thai, I found my boxing gym, which is my coach, Ryan Grant. And and then he's like, hey, I want you to fight for me. And at that point, I was in school. I was always training, always. Right? I was doing competitions, like obviously wrestling tournaments, nationals, whatever, OFSA, and jujitsu as well. But I never actually fought, like fought. And he said, listen, I don't want you to hit my. It was him and my coach Coach 𝘼𝙣𝙖𝙨𝙯𝙬𝙗, my Russian coach. So these are my two main guys, and then my third guy is Paul Jalbert, who is a teammate and an amazing jujitsu, like just incredible. So he's my third man. There's my three guys in my corner. Anyways, they came up to me one day, coach, the Russian coach, and Ryan Grant, RG, also known as RG, and they're like, listen, at this point, I was coming to the gym for like I would say 4 or 5 months, 6 months, don't quote me on it, something like that. And I literally came into the gym because one of my girlfriends is like, we're both training and we teach, right? She's like, I'm going to this boxing gym, rival boxing gym. Sorry, Grant's MMA. It was slash rival. Anyways, Grant's MMA, like at 1 o'clock. Let me know if you want to come tomorrow. So I moved my clients around. I'm like, yeah, I want to do it. And at this point, I never did boxing. Went to the gym, just like a boxer size class at 1 o'clock, but it's real boxing. It's not
right,
like
right.
it's real, right? I ended up loving it. The coaches, when you see them like spotting you, like, oh, this girl or this guy can be, it's like for me as a coach, I'm like, that you either have it or you don't.
Right.
You understand? Something you have to build on it, but you can always see who has it, who has the potential. So they saw potential. So I kept coming, loved it, kept making sure 1 o'clock every day. So no clients, none of that, right? And they ended up saying one day, like, they went up to me, both of them, and they're like, we want you to fight for us. They're like, we don't want you to fight for us because we think you're beautiful. We don't want girls fighting, but you have potential. Like, really. And they already knew I was doing jujitsu and everything like that. And I said, listen, I'm in school, coaches. I can't focus on fighting right now because listen, it's all or nothing. This is not a joke. This is fighting, right? I said, I promise you, when I'm done school in a few months, I promise you, I'll fight for you. They said, okay. Finish school, handed me the contract. Welcome to your new life. Booked a fight maybe a month later. And then I got invited to be at the pro training. The only girl. All the guys are. This room was stacked, okay? Like stacked. And I'm the only girl in there. And it was an honor just to be like, these guys want me to come to the pro. Wow. And I think I was that good. You know what I mean? So that was something cool for me. Because I never think I'm good. I never think see, this is the thing. Like, I always work hard. I don't like to think I'm good. I just want to work. Leave me alone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let me work. Sometimes I'm hard on myself. Yeah, I think you should be. But anyways, and I got invited, and it was just like, wow, they see something. Okay, that makes me feel like I can do something, and that's what coaches do. They're supposed to take out their greatness. I'm supposed to grab the greatness out of you, Prince. You
Right.
could be a guy that does podcasting or whatever. Maybe you have a talent for, let's say, in this you do martial arts, which you do.
Yeah, I
And
do. Yeah, I'm a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I do.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
so sick. You know
yeah.
what I mean? So my job as a professor or a coach or whatever, a mentor, is to bring the greatness out of you. And so they did that, and those are the special people in your life that really help you along your path and make you know your worth, what you're capable of. And so that was a really cool experience, and I take that with me for life. And I want to do that for my students, and And I do. I think it's very special. I don't know how I got off on this, but anyways, that's the
No,
experience.
that's where it's supposed to go because we're going off of your specialties and knowing whether you're better at grappling or striking, and then you're just literally trying to explain like, okay, yes, I'm good. I started off grappling, but then you're talking about how you're trying to go from grappling, then you got to the boxing gym. So when you got to the boxing gym, then you give me your story about that. And that's what I was trying to understand. I was trying to understand like how did you progress in your career from grappling into striking, and which one did you feel more comfortable with? So, and you're saying you're working all around, so you don't really have a favor. You just have like more so you're working on either or. Like you either feel strong on the grappling one day, 1 month, or you feel strong on striking the next month. Like it's never one that you favor. So it makes sense.
Yeah. And then you get closer to your fights, and I think every fighter, every martial artist, whatever you want to call it. I like to call myself a martial artist. Fighter's aggressive, but I think that everybody has like their different feelings. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even going into a fight, everybody prepares differently, and it's just amazing to be a part of this. I don't know, a team, people that are on the same path as you and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a journey, and you'll know because you're in it too. You start to when you vibe with people that are on the same path as you, and even joining martial arts is for life. Right. Martial arts is for life. It's not like anything else. You know what I mean? Like you're always learning. Like jujitsu. Like you could do that until you're like, God willing, you could do that until you're 70 because you'll be able to adapt slowly. Like what you can and cannot do. Like you're always, this is the beauty of martial arts. This is why I love martial arts. Hey, listen, I don't love fighting. We already talked about this. People know. People ask me, do you love fighting? Sorry, my language. I hate it. But I just love the competition of it. I love to win. And it's something for me. Like I'm very competitive. Like I tell everybody, like my shoes have to be better than yours. It's like my black socks are better than your black socks. Okay, you know what I mean?
You have this type of personality. It's like say we were going to get slushy from like you ever heard of 7-Eleven? Like 7-Eleven in America. Okay, so like say we were going to go get slushy at 7-Eleven. You'd be like, I can fill this cup up faster than you. Like you give me that type of personality. Like we'll start like turning the knob. You be like, I can do this faster than you. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's broken. I start sweating. I'll get sweat in my That's what I like. Yeah, that's what I like. That's what it's about for me. You know what I mean? So yeah. So,
That's dope. Nah, but I wanted to because the last podcast I was kind of everywhere and it like went way off. So I wanted to center it around your MMA career. I felt like that was like one thing that you were so passionate about. That's what I got off from the last time we recorded. You were so passionate about. So I wanted to center around there.
Absolutely. You ask me anything you want.
Yeah, and what I do want to ask you is, since you're out of your little knee brace now, what's up next? What's coming up for the next 6 to 12 months? You know?
Yeah. So was it Wednesday? Wednesday I went back to. I guess you could say sparring. This Sunday, listen, I'm not 100% sparring. Am I doing it early? 100%.
Right.
Like I'm already like telling myself and everybody like I'm running next week. People are like, what the hell?
But you could jog. Like running is not like they probably imagine you sprinting. You're probably just like I'm getting the motion back.
Yeah, but the dangerous thing is you gotta be careful you don't fall.
Because you're in Canada and there's snow.
It's so delicate. It's very delicate. Like if you touch my knee right now to the side, it's dangerous, right? So anyways, I came back.
You don't wear a brace?
No, I'm not wearing a brace right now. No.
Yo, you're on the wild side. What are you doing? Okay, you're on the wild side.
I do my physio every day. I strengthen it. Like, I've always been like that. And people can say it's stupid, but I know my body. I know everything. Like I not everything. You know what I mean? I know my body. I know my limitations. Even though I push the limit, I also know because of injuries, and I know this feeling, what I can and can't do. Like I said, am I supposed to be doing body work? Absolutely not. But I went back to body work, just body work, no kicking, none of that stuff. And everyone's like, welcome back, coach. Welcome back, teammate. I'm like, thank you guys. Everybody was so careful though, because the dangerous thing is, if somebody it's a room packed. Somebody hits me from behind, falls on me, I'm done. So it's a risk, right? So this Sunday, It's gonna be again. It's actually full sparring, and I'm just gonna do the body work. Same thing. Take it easy. So you're asking me to go back from what am I doing from 6 months to 12 months? Is this recovering this knee to make this stronger than before? Baby steps. Like
you're not even gonna, you're not even gonna wear a brace.
I
Like
ain't
not
got
even
time.
once. Wow. Yeah, there's both. I can't even blame you because like when I was 24, I think I told the story before. When I was 24, I broke my ankle.
Tell me again.
Yeah,
Nobody knows
so
because you
yeah,
didn't upload it
so
properly.
I was playing men's league rugby, and I broke my ankle, and I was 24, and
Right.
I was in the cast for 6 to 8 weeks, I believe.
Yeah,
Like,
Prince, go to the left more. One second. Just go to the left so you're in the middle of that screen. There,
yes,
I just noticed that. Okay, now we good. You're
we're
6 years.
good. We're good.
Yeah.
Um, from like for 6 to 8 weeks. And when I was in there for 6 to 8 weeks, I was like, oh God, my foot is gonna get so much smaller. And it got smaller. And like I'm talking about, it was like this big. Like,
I
yeah,
know.
it's that
I
big.
know.
And I was so devastated, but I was like, no, I'm not. 'Cause I never really broken anything in my life. Like I've had sprains, I've had like injuries. That's the first time I ever broke like my ankle or anything in my body. So I was
It
just
was rugby. It was rugby, right?
yeah. And I was just determined to like get back in shape, just determined to get back to like where I was. So like
Right.
once I was done with my physical therapy, because like I had to get my mobility back. Like once like you were in a brace, I guess like a semi-cast. Like I was in a full-on cast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was in a full-on, like they had to use a saw to get the cast off my leg and
Yeah,
everything.
mine
Like,
wasn't like that.
yeah. So like I had to get my mobility back. But once I got my mobility back, I was like straight to the gym. Like I would wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. I would go to the gym and then go to work. And then after work, I would go do something like with my legs and stuff, like just to get my mobility back. I was just like, I
Yeah.
could not be in like the slums of depression just because like my legs was down.
Yeah, because you're a G. That's why you
Yeah,
got time. You're too
yeah,
passionate. That's what it is. Which is amazing. Not everybody has that, right? And I think most people that are like pros or competitors or just competitive. I think any athlete, whatever level, elite or not, um, should have that type of mindset to get back in. But then so this is the thing, right? So I'm flexible, like Prince. I'm flexible, like flexible. So
right.
like my flexibility is everything. So now there's the steps with Dr. 𝙤𝙤𝙤, my physio guys, my team. Uh, right now, you see this? Like, can you see? Like I'm putting my foot up. I can't put this heel to my butt right now.
Yeah.
But this is amazing. I couldn't even lift this leg last like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But because I'm always working.
I mean, last time we were on the podcast, you were like this the entire time. I couldn't even see your legs, so it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So now it's flexibility first. Then from flexibility is strength,
Strength, yeah.
lunge, squat, lift. Then from there it's back to MMA, but slowly. Like I'm still. Do you see how I'm going back? It's I have to be cautious because now we're grappling. So it's gonna be a full year, 100%, in terms of me feeling comfortable to go beast mode. Do you understand? Because I don't want this affecting the back of my mind. I'll like you know what I mean? Like, but you know what? I always forget. As soon as I'm in the gym, it's like, what? I forget about it, which is
That's what I'm worried about for you, because
dangerous.
I feel like 9 months, 6 months in, you'll be like, I feel like you have a little bit of strength, and like you just get like real excited. Like you just need that somebody who's like a little bit more accountable to be like, just give it like a couple more time, like a couple more time. You just need that person. I feel like you would just be like, I'm ready to go. Like I feel great. Like you feel great. You be like, yeah, I'm ready to go, and it'd be like your leg doesn't know if you're ready to go or not. Like
so this is so funny because the doctor, when I met Dr. 𝙤𝙤𝙤, he already knew for my personality. He's like, you're gonna be that way. Met the physio team. They're like, there's two of them, right? They're like, we know at 6 months you're gonna think that you're ready, and you know what, Anastasia? He goes, we have to. We've seen it before with other athletes. He goes, but you're like fiery. They were laughing. They're like, we're gonna have to bring you down here. He goes, you understand that, right? 6 months you're gonna feel great. But we have to do extra tests for you. You go like they're pointing at me because we want to see if your knee is stable with the stuff that you do, like specific MMA stuff. Because you're gonna feel like you're great, and then what happens is there's a 5% chance that you think you're ready, and boom, you just damaged your whole knee, and you're out for 2 years. You know what I mean?
Well, it's
So
because I think it's also because like it's your ACL, so it's like with grappling, you're doing a lot of balance stuff, and it's a lot of pressure on one leg, right? It's not like you
yes,
both; it's both one leg, and it's a lot of agility stuff. When you're doing a lot of agility stuff, that's literally singular legs. So they're watching out for like, okay, maybe when you sprawl, or maybe when you
yes.
like try to like
I
lift, like
there's
deadlift styles. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead.
yeah, there's gonna be so many different things like jumping,
Yeah,
holding, like skaters on a Bosu. Right now, I do sprawls fine, like all that's fine. It's the balance.
right,
Anytime I'm on one leg, like
right.
if I'm balancing on this leg, you know what I mean? Like
It's
they're gonna
shaky.
put me, yeah, they're gonna put me in a Bosu. Like I'm usually on a Bosu like a ninja, like you know what I mean? So yeah, so there's gonna do those tests, and it is what it is. But I know this is my life, so I listen. Fighting's not forever. I still have to teach. I still have to be a bomb ass coach. I have to, I have to be able to lead my team, and I can't do that if I do stupid things. So as much as I push, I also know that I still have to be smart. So even me saying I'm gonna run next week, I'm going to. I'm gonna call my doctor and let him know just to get that little. Are we good, doc? You ever see what he says? But I'm
He's
gonna do
not gonna
it.
say you're good, but you're gonna be like, I'm doing it
Whatever.
anyway.
Listen.
Like he's gonna be like, put a brace on at least. You're like, okay.
Yeah. No,
Oh
never
man.
mind. He's a G, Dr. Zarna. He literally, when I went to go see him for the first appointment, I have another appointment booked with him soon because I want to see the progression, obviously. And I saw him. He grabs my crutches and throws them to the side. He's like, "You don't need these." Boom. He's like, "You don't need these." He goes, "The only time I want you to use these is going outside right now because of the snow. Because with Anastasia, you are ready to go. Like you're good." Then he takes my leg and brings this foot. You know how I can't put it right to my ass right now?
Yeah.
He put it to my ass. Okay, it touched my ass like normal. I saw stars. I started sweating. I'm like, he's like, "You're a diamond." I'm like, "In the rough," and I'm like,
I'm not ready.
I'm like this. I'm like this. Buddy, I shit my pants. I'm not gonna lie. I started sweating. He's like, "You're good. You're good." I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you did that." He's like, "Do you see what it can do? Do you see?" He's like, "It needs that." So, anyways, he's one of those doctors too. So if he tells me though, like I can't run, then I'll be like, let me give it
Okay.
another week then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He
No,
knows
that's
his shit.
dope. That's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
dope. No,
yeah.
I'm glad to hear that at least. Glad to see that you're back on your feet. You're not stuck in the little brace cast, I guess semi cast or whatever, and you're
I'm ready to do a TikTok.
slowly progressing back to where you were at, right? Like
Yeah,
slowly but
slowly.
surely. But
Well,
surely. Because you want it to be
that
surely at the end of the day, whether it's slow or fast. You want to be sure.
right. So that's he's saying it's going fast, but
Right.
it's slowly for my mind, but it's
Right.
actually fast because everybody's like, "Coach, like how are you like you're doing this now? Like this, I couldn't do this." I'm like, "Cause I'm working with you guys. Cause I'm working. I ain't got to stop. Like
Right.
I'll go crazy. You know what I mean? Obviously, I do other things. Like I don't just teach. I don't just fight. I don't. I have other things that I work on as well. So you know what I mean? Like I don't know where I was going with that. I had a thought and then I lost it.
No. Like your mobility. You're just talking about your mobility and how you're constantly moving. So I
Yeah.
got you. I'm following. I'm following what you're
I
saying. I'm
got you.
following. I'm
You got
following.
you got me, boo. You
Yeah.
got me. But
All
anyways,
right.
I
No,
don't know
but
what I was saying.
like I did in my last podcast, let's go into closing thoughts because we're already 45
Right.
minutes in, and the
Shit.
fight
Okay.
started in 15 minutes. I know you don't want
Yeah.
to miss that, so I'm not gonna hold that up.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just let my audience know like the takeaway, like whether it's in Grow With Us agency, whether it's in MMA, whether it's spirituality, what can you give to like my audience member to keep them going in life and like let them grow as like a person?
Let them grow as a person. I'm sure you have like. First off, I did this last time, but I want to say thank you for having me on your show, your podcast. I think your vibe is very very good, and I'm always with high vibes. I ain't got time for anything else. So anybody that's on my team, whether you follow me, whether you work with me through the agency Grow With Us to build your brand or business online, whether it's for health and fitness, mentoring, coaching, MMA. You have to have a bomb ass vibe. So when I work with people and I meet people like you and make these connections, it's amazing. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed that you have me on this show. All right. And I thank you for it. And I think you're doing amazing. And I hope that your audience actually appreciates, the person that you are, because you're so amazing. Because I wouldn't jump on this otherwise. Because your vibe wouldn't, you already know, I can feel it through the screen. I ain't got time for anything else. You know what I mean? So I thank you. And I think your audience needs to appreciate you, number one. And number two is if they follow, the winning team, Team Animale, all right, Anastasia Nikolakakos, they're always gonna have bomb ass vibes, all right? That's one thing. Anything that's ever happened in life, it's always boom, we're good. It was a lesson. Let's move on. All right. Or, follow me for high vibes, work with me with my team, winning team, build your brand, build your business. I want to get to know everybody, especially when they're a part of a team like you. So anybody that's a part of a team like you is a part of Anastasia, aka Team Animale, baby.
Hey, I love it. Thank you for watching the podcast. I am going to put our plugins in. This is Anastasia's plugin right here. And then here's my plugins. I hope you guys really enjoyed the podcast. Once again, apologies for it cutting short. Like I said during the Zoom meeting, our connection ended up going dead. And I think on Zoom, you can only have like a certain amount of minutes before they cut off your connection as well. I don't know. That's still under speculation. But regardless, it's still a great podcast. And until next time, peace.